What's going on, my beautiful people? You already know the deal. Hit that like and subscribe button, and let's dive in.
So today we're going to talk about bells, and we're going to go through this. book. You know, the Germans did the Die Glocke, which was a giant bell, which was used for levitation. And it shows right here, Nick Cook and many other scientists all believe that the bell discharged some sort of radiation, which is really interesting, and was connected to levitation. Now here's where it gets fascinating. There were cylinders inside the bell which spun in the opposite direction, which also contained mercury. And not just any type of mercury, red mercury, the one the government tells you to stay away from. So check this. This is mercury right here, right? Quicksilver. Look at how much electricity. Wild, huh? So we got mercury, which creates that voltage, and then you got the uranium or radium right here, okay? And then that would emit the radiation. What's interesting is that the sounds that came off of it were like a beehive, and there was a bluish phosphorus glow of the bell. And they say that this form of levitation and other inventions were similar to the Vril Society, which people need to look into, and Wotan. Also Schauberger's work, Tesla's work, and right there, that bell. Now what?
Yeah, I heard some pretty crazy theories about that bell. But allegedly that they were using it for time travel as well.
What's funny is the United States government was saying that Germany was developing nukes, so they had to invade them. Do you kind of see why they had to invade them now? So today we're going to talk about bells, and
of course they're $4 for 97 cents. 4 for $1, and we're talking about gallon jugs. Can you guess what juice brand that is? Tampico. Pero tú lo sabes ya. Tampico, between you and me, it's no hard feelings. I'm not trying to bring your company down. I am just saying the truth. Your juice never gets cold, nor does it intend to. It doesn't matter if you serve it in aluminum cups that you put in the freezer for 2 hours.
I've had this juice before and it tastes good, but every time I had it, it was warm. I think you might be onto something, y'all.
Doesn't matter how much ice you put in it. It really is a phenomenon on y'all part. I have no idea what type of chemicals were mixed in the process to make this formula. I don't like to see no company on a decline, nor do I wish bad upon anybody. With all the attention that you're receiving now, you guys are in a critical point where you could revamp the company. Y'all could come out with something less oily, something captivating. A new formula so powerful that even Plankton would try to steal it. Y'all fed my tribe for many, many years, so we gotta give credit when credit is due. All the EBT users, the WIC users, y'all came through. When there was nothing else to drink and you did not want water at your house, you had to resort to these. But the simple fact about it all is that we drank it anyways. And y'all should be proud about that. If there's a way to change the consistency of oil and make it a satisfactory drink, y'all are in business. Don't give up on me, Tampico. Of course.
Tampico. Warm as hell. Oxygen levels.
Systems are online. Oxygen reading 100%.
Set a course to Dark Waters 9. For context, these videos are strictly for entertainment purposes only. Do your own research on everything. They are just theories, not facts.
United Nations Agenda 21 Sustainable Development. It is the inventory and control plan. Inventory and control of all land, all water, all minerals, all plants, all animals, all construction, all means of production, all food, all energy, all information, and all human beings in the world. And this is a plan that was agreed to by 179 nations back in 1992. It's a United Nations plan. It's called the Agenda for the 21st Century. And so many of us around the world think that sustainable development, it just sounds so great. Isn't it about recycling and creative reuse and creating energy and food resources for everyone? And the answer is no. It really is not. It's about moving populations into city centers, concentrated city centers, and clearing them out of the rural areas. It's constructed of non-governmental organizations, corporations, and government in order to dictate and regulate what it is that happens around the world. Regionalization is the stepping stone to globalization, and globalization is the standardization of all systems. All systems have to be brought into harmony in order to control them all. And the goal of Agenda 21 is one world and total control from a central unit. The principles are public-private partnerships, which is fascism. And this is how it's implemented on the ground, is through this joining together between corporations, non-governmental organizations, and governments in order to cut out the actual individual, your voter, and instead to take that to a level where we literally cannot penetrate. This is a corporatocracy. It's a totalitarian state being developed right now all over the world while we are moving towards the end game. We are not there. And this is the opportunity that all of us have now to stand up, to speak out. We are free, and we need to continue to be free. United Nations, Agenda 21, Sustainable Development.
Are we truly free? How do we not know we're nanobot up and we're under some type of mind control from these skull to voice technology beams we can't see? They implementing 6G soon. No telling what that's gonna do.
Bruce Kowalski. Your monthly universal basic income has been deposited into your account. For more information, press details. You have been paid 2,000 central bank digital tokens. The following fees are being deducted. Accommodation fee.
Damn, this is like a social security check. The future.
Food ration fee. Recycling fee. Clean
Food ration, food stamps. The future of food stamps.
energy fee. Personal greenhouse gas emissions fee. Climate change fee. Diversity fee. Your current remaining balance is 5 central bank digital tokens, and if not spent, it will expire in 7 days.
And you wonder why they trying to get rid of the penny in cash. The penny's already gone. I went to the store the other day and they said penny, as you know, the penny's already gone. So it's not like people are just making that up. I seen it myself when I went to a store yesterday. There was a sign on the door that said the penny is no longer in use. We just rounded up or rounded down. I forgot what he said, but I'm like, dang.
After 2027, there will be no way back. Elon Musk said this in a podcast with Lex Friedman, a line that was later cut. When asked why, he fell silent for almost a minute.
That's a scary minute.
Then he quietly said, shout out to Lex for letting him sit there with that, though. It's pretty heavy. Then he quietly said, it's not a catastrophe, it's a transition. The transcript left behind 3 themes that gave him away: autonomous intelligence, loss of meaning, and energy independence. It all sounded like a forecast, but now reads like a diagnosis of the era. The first sign is the collapse of attention. Musk said humanity will stop thinking in cycles. Planning for the future will shrink to the horizon of updates. That line hits me hard. People will stop building and start simply replacing. MIT research confirms a generation born after 2000 holds attention for about 8 seconds, less than a goldfish. I used to say that to Alessi, but he's gotten a lot better now. Musk called this cultural Alzheimer's. We're not losing memory, we're losing the ability to think. The second sign is artificial intelligence that no longer obeys. Musk says when a system starts correcting humans, that time of linear logic is over. Even now, algorithms decide who we date, what we buy, and what we think about. This isn't a machine uprising, it's dissolution into convenience. People won't notice the moment when choice becomes an option, not a right. The third sign is energy dependence. Musk explains civilization can no longer survive even a day without electricity. By 2027, here it is, in his view, the balance will shift. Energy will become currency and control over it will become power. From that moment on, everything non-autonomous will disappear. This isn't an apocalypse, it's a change of biological form. At the end, he said a line that didn't make it on air. Technology is stronger than us, but not smarter. As long as we have meaning, we are alive. Lose it and we become code. Then, after a pause, he added, we must learn to be human before systems learn to be gods. Are you ready for the transition or already living in a...
Thing to do with reading your brain. But of course it goes further. So in this one, they said, can they understand the inner monologue, the things you're saying to yourself in your own mind? Mind you, by the way, when you dream, like your visual cortex runs in reverse, so your dreams are no longer safe. But we'll try this. So they had people watch a video and just narrate what was going on in the video in their mind. So there's a woman, she gets hit in the back, she falls over. This is what the computer reconstructed the person thinking. See a girl, looks just like me, get hit in the back, and then she is knocked off. So our thoughts, are starting to be decoded. Yeah, just think about what this means for authoritarian states, for instance. or if you want to generate images that maximally activate your pleasure sensor, anything else. Okay, but let's keep going, right? To really get the sense of the combinatorics of this. How about, can we go from Wi-Fi radio signals, you know, sort of like the Wi-Fi routers in your house, they're bouncing off radio signals that work sort of like sonar. Can you go from that to where human beings are to images? So what they did is they had, a camera looking at a space with people in it. That's sort of like coming in from one eye. The other eye is the radio signals, so sonar from the Wi-Fi router. And they just learned to predict, like, this is where the human beings are. Then they took away the camera. So all the AI had was the language of radio signals bouncing around a room. And this is what they're able to reconstruct. Real-time 3D pose estimation, right? So suddenly AI has turned every Wi-Fi router into a camera that can work in the dark, specially tuned for tracking living beings.
Tell us what DARPA is.
Defense Advanced Research Project Agency, where all the top secret research goes on. It's often referred to as mind control weapons called V2K that can pipe voices into someone's head as a non-lethal weapon that resonates the dopamine cells of your brain and it floods it.
Floods your brain with dopamine?
Yeah, dopamine dump. That incapacitates the adversary. And so if you're programming someone to go after, let's say, a political
This ain't funny, but I feel like I got hit with that one a couple times, man. What was it called? V2K? I believe the real name is voice to skull technology. Man. Like, I heard that it's a technology they can have in a van. They can go through walls and, they just beaming it, man. Gang stalking with a beam that could go through walls.
target. All you have to do is use voice morphing, pipe in the tortures, the pains, and 24 hours, you'll drive the person crazy and they'll want to kill and stop the pain. You play a two-tape loop, your mother hates you, blah, blah, the brainwashing. So they were trying to wipe the brain clean so they could rebuild new memory. It was funded by the CIA. How could you disable a person, making them dysfunctional? That would be scrambling their brains, that'd be dopamine dump, affecting their nervous system so they drop on the ground. So it's a combination of psychological warfare as well as directed energy weapons, along with the voice of God weapons with voice morphing. It's the most complex weapon system we have put together ever as a species.
I think we'll hit AGI next year in 26.
Yeah. I mean, this is an important question to get thought through.
Yeah. Well, one side recommendation I have is don't worry about squirreling money away for retirement in 10 or 20 years. It won't matter.
No. Either we're not going to be here, or
it just you won't need to save for retirement. If any of the things that we've said are true, yeah, saving for retirement will be irrelevant.
The services will be there to support you. You'll have the home, you'll have the healthcare, you'll have the entertainment.
The way this unfolds is fundamentally impossible to predict because of self-improvement of the AI and the accelerating timeline.
Yeah, it's called Singularity for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what what happens after the event horizon.
Exactly. You can never see past the black hole or the event horizon, the light cone.
You're saying there's no need to save for retirement.
Of course, I'm on the.
Didn't he just recently become the millionaire or a trillionaire? I mean, the world's first trillionaire. Did Elon Musk become the first trillionaire? It says Elon Musk officially became the world's first trillionaire, reaching a net worth exceeding 1.1 trillion. This historic wealth milestone was achieved following the massive public debut of IPO of his aerospace company SpaceX. What's an IPO? Initial public offering. by publicly traded company by selling shares of his stock. So his stock. SpaceX has a stock? Yeah.
The depictions all over the world. They don't design the entire thing perfectly and then accidentally put an extra finger on both hands. That's not what happened. This was done on purpose. So when someone has polydactyly, this can mean that they have 6 fingers on one hand and the other hand has 5 fingers and both feet have 5 toes. It could also mean that both hands have 6 fingers and both feet have 6 toes. So to be more specific and attack this even further, we have to understand that we only want to research the instances where it's 6 fingers and 6 toes on both hands and both feet. This is polydactyly, but it is more specifically called hexadactyly. And hexadactyly means they have 6 fingers and 6 toes on both hands and both feet. And what I find extremely interesting is that people are still born with this today. It's extremely rare, with 1 in 1 million births, or only 140 people a year worldwide.
I went to school with someone and it ran in their family. I seen 2 people with it.
They're born with this. So when we see it all over the world, the powerful giant old world figures in every continent, and they are being discovered as the leaders. This is not a common trait today at all. And there were less people back then, we are told. Yet there are so many instances where people have 6 fingers and 6 toes and they are the leaders. And they are also giants, showing that this group, in my opinion, this is the Nephilim, they are gone. And there were so many more of them here in the past. The past being around 500 years ago, in my opinion. I personally believe that this group did leave, with some dying from the catastrophic event that took place. The event that melted buildings. The event that covered this place with mud. But I also believe that their DNA lives on. A very small amount. I believe these 140 people per year, they might just have traces of this dominant trait. And so many times we saw that the head, the arms, the hands and the feet were removed from the depictions of our true past. The old world statues. And we see they are so deliberately removed. A perfect cut over and over. We always speculated that it was hiding more. And I believe today that we have fully exposed what it was hiding all along. Hiding that the Nephilim were here and extremely involved in the way that things were done. The leaders in every continent, I believe that we have opened up a brand new door that explains so much more about where we are. And I will never look at a statue without a head, without its feet, and without its hands the same ever again. One thing we can't overlook is how these traits, 6 fingers, 6 toes, and towering size, weren't just physical. They symbolize something so much deeper. Power, or even a connection to forces beyond this world, as we were told with the Moon People, or the Watchers. Across so many cultures, these individuals weren't just leaders. They were gods, warriors, and builders. Their influence shaped everything, including the massive architecture that's still here today. What if the missing hands and feet on these statues weren't just about hiding the truth, but also about erasing a lineage, erasing who once ruled and what they were capable of? It's not just about what's missing. It's about what they don't want us to see. This isn't just history we're uncovering. It's a blueprint to understanding what they don't want us to know.
The mystery of Buddha with 6 fingers. Was he a Nephilim? That is wild.
The Nephilim were here, and that changes everything.
The last dragon was my favorite. The neck alone was 40 miles long on it. But first we visit Grand Mesa. This is an unalive titan split by a tree that was over 50 miles long.
It does look like something crazy happened there. Wow.
Gunnison Gorge Wilderness was a dragon, and still is. My favorite, the city of Appleton and Gang. Humans live right on top of these dragons and didn't have no idea until now. Dominguez Escalante National Conservation Area. It's the dead dragons and their wings. Did you have a favorite?
This one is definitely wild.
This was the last dragon and the...
Wow. It's immediately screaming broken tree to me. Like a giant tree that got snapped off. In the middle of nowhere. Where is this?
Oxygen levels.
Systems are online. Oxygen levels reading 100%.
Set a course to Dark Waters 9.
In central Mexico near Mexico City lies Xico, a perfectly round volcanic crater once filled by ancient Lake Chalco. After the lake dried up through natural and human drainage, the fertile basin became rich farmland, transforming this extinct volcano into one of the region's most productive agricultural zones over centuries.
Or it could have been a fallen angel crash site. That will explain why everything inside has been excavated. Because look, it's been completely scraped clean. They made sure they got any tools or weapons that may have came with the fallen angel. I don't know. Y'all tell me.
Beautiful aerial photography here from Patagonia, and the mainstream narrative for these mountains is tectonic plates pushing together and then Earth coming up. But you know, on this channel we don't believe the mainstream explanation for what we're seeing here. Petrification is a natural process where organic material like wood or bone turns to stone by being replaced with minerals, typically silica, from mineral rich water that seeps in after rapid burial, which cuts off oxygen and slows decay. Now, it's not just the Bible. All ancient civilizations talk about a time when the earth was flooded. The gates of the deep and the gates of heaven were opened, and all of the earth was reset because the corruption was out of control. The whole of the earth was covered in mineral rich water, all that sediment, burying anything that's alive and turning it to stone. So you decide for yourself what we're looking at, people. Geology or petrified biology?
What an interesting theory. All geology is petrified biology. I wonder what would that explain from all those specimens of the day.
Now, I've learned from the shaman of the Yupik tribe who died recently. He claims that the whales have the knowledge of the human race dating back 450,000 years. They can actually call the cetaceans in. They'll come right up to the shoreline, and they can communicate with them telepathically. He had read that at one time there was an Aboriginal tribe on the south coast of Australia whose shaman had this capability, but according to the anthropologists, none of the tribe were still alive today. But he went there anyway to check it out. Thankfully, he found 20 members of the tribe still alive. Whenever they held a ceremony, the shaman would call the whales in through the tunnel, and they would come right into the lagoon, and then a UFO would come down and land, and the occupants would communicate with the shaman and with the whales. Also had a legend that one day all the shamans capable of communicating with cetaceans would come to their sacred lagoon and all commune together. Not too long ago, as they had a seismic upheaval and the subterranean tunnel collapsed, so the whales can't come in anymore into the lagoon. But the interesting thing is, all 20 members of the tribe have a birthmark on their chest, and it's in the shape of a humpback whale. When he was down there, they had another small earthquake, and they had this huge sacred rock right on the edge of the lagoon. And during the quake, the rock split right down the middle. All the tribal members were petrified. They thought this was a terrible omen for them. They went up to the rock to look, and I've seen a photograph of this. The whole interior of the rock is white, except right in the middle there is a silhouette of a humpback whale. It's perfectly true. Last year, all the shamans gathered there, and he's making a documentary movie of it now. Now, I've learned from the shaman of the...
Where's that movie at? Did they ever let that get released? How interesting is that? That's like the first Aquaman, you know, but it was actually a tribe that can communicate to the, you know. I wonder maybe if that's where the Atlanteans were based off of, maybe. You know, it makes you think. This isn't the first time I've heard people communicating with whales. I remember it was this, when hunting whales was real bad, it was this activist that was out there stopping the whales, and the whale would literally come up next to his boat. He could stand on top of the whale while he's waving to the hunters to stop. How crazy was that? You know, it's a conscience field, I believe, that you can communicate and tap into with all animals. Like, an animal can sense how good your heart is. You got people that could hold a peanut right in their hand and a squirrel will come right out, or they can have a bag of seeds and just stand outside and the birds will come land on their hand and eat it. You know, animals can feel that. If you got an experience like that, drop it in the comments below. I'd love to hear that. All right, we have Tesla robot eyes. Serving that stale popcorn with no butter. Look at it. Where's the butter? I bet if you asked him, put some more butter on it, he don't know what you gonna say. And why are the eyes red? You know, every movie, every video game, the eyes are red. That the bad guy, the evil AI is red. The Sentinels on Matrix, the Terminator, all the eyes were red. You couldn't make them green or blue to make them a little bit more friendly?
Anything made of words will be taken over by AI. If books are just combinations of words, then AI will take over books. If religion is built from words, then AI will take over religion. This is particularly true of religions based on books. What happens to a religion of the book when the greatest expert on the holy book is an AI?
And this is just another reminder, my friend, for every person to get their hands on a physical copy of the Bible, preferably not a modern day translation for a list of reasons. But you know, we live in a very digital world where most people's Bible reading and studying is done through an app. Well, what happens when these apps are removed? They become illegal. And let's not pretend like that's a far-fetched idea, even in the Western world. I think it's 52 countries right now where the Bible is completely restricted, and in 7 of them it's completely banned, and that number is growing. It's a very plausible thing, even in the Western world. In the near future, we're already seeing signs of this, of certain things becoming illegal. And, you know, they're already telling us, giving us hints of a future world that will be replaced by AI and whatever whatever else, even from the podiums at the WEF, of this is what is going to happen. And especially during the Great Tribulation period, the Word of God is going to be the most valued thing in the world. It's the only source of truth and light in this world, and people are going to be doing all manners of evil just to get rid of this book. People have died for the Word of God, my friend. They've been crucified.
The Book of Eli. If any of you guys seen the Book of Eli, what did he have to do?
On a cross. They've been oiled. They've been alive for the Word of God, my friend. And we have the privilege, especially in the Western world, where we can own multiple copies of them. So if you do not own a Bible, even if you don't read it, you don't believe in it, my friend, just buy one. One day you will be thankful that you did. Go get your hands on a copy, a physical copy of the Bible.
And you can download them and put them on USBs too. But physical copy is nice. Like, you can download the ISR version, KJV, any of them for free.
Digital ID is here and Apple is behind it. This week, Apple announced the first version of digital ID in the US. They are selling this as a substitution to the real ID, but we know where we are headed. Once your information is connected to the central database, you're vulnerable to their tech. If you're dependent on their digital ID for travel, they can essentially decline your ability to fly. What if they decide your appearance does not match what they have on file? Denied. They can shut down your life and they can turn your access off at any moment. When your personal information and your identity is in the database, who owns it and how can you ensure you're able to opt out when you choose? This Apple Digital ID is yet another example of how people are trading their freedom for convenience. We must say no to this, or we may get locked out of society and all the systems we interact with forever.
I believe you have to have it's already where you have to have like an enhanced ID to fly. I already did it. Like, you have to pay like a couple extra bucks. The lady looked out for me low key at the Secretary of State. She said, you want to upgrade your ID now so you don't have to do it later? And I was like, yes, please. And so, good looking, whoever you were that did that. She helped me out. But if you didn't have it upgraded, you wouldn't be able to fly anywhere. And I didn't know that until somebody told me. And I was like, wow. So you can't fly anywhere because your ID hasn't been upgraded? Yes. It's just a matter of time before it goes digital, to be honest with you. I used to work in the medical field. They were switching over from regular files to digital records. So it was this big thing going on at the time that people had to switch from all the old files, because you remember when you used to go to the doctor's office, they'll pull out your file and come there with you and they'll have a thick file on you. Now they had to get rid of all that. So I believe the Obama administration said that we got to get rid of all paper files because we're going digital. So all the medical facilities had to do that. Do you remember that? Drop it in the comments below. I'm starting to notice that this maybe was a bigger plan going on here.
You have a small elite that pushes things in its own interests, even if it doesn't benefit the vast majority of the population. This has happened so many times previously in history, and it's probably going to happen again. One of the biggest dangers to the planet today is this technological utopia, because probably for the elite it will work. If bad comes to worse, then when the flood comes, the scientists will build a Noah's Ark for the elite, leaving the rest to drown, the rest of the people and then the rest of the ecosystem. But they are likely to be able to construct this technological Noah's Ark, which is probably what much of the elite is counting on. You have a small elite that...
The scary part about this, I could see them doing something like that, you know, almost like underground bunkers, you know what I'm saying? But like a bunker safe from AI, if you will. The scary part is I can see them doing something like that.
So I took a 15-inch woofer speaker and put it on the living room floor, played with the frequencies, the vibrations, till I reached the right frequency to levitate a ping pong ball right in the center. And I thought I was going to get a gigantic raise and maybe a promotion or, whatever. So I showed him what I'd done and everything, and he looked at it and he said, "Well, wow, man, I never thought you'd get that far with it." He says, "This is a government-funded research and development laboratory, and we're paid to look for answers, not find them." And that blew my world apart. It honest to God, I felt like, what am I doing here? I went back to work and lasted about another week because I was thinking if I went home without a paycheck, my wife was going to get upset, and I had no idea what I was going to do. Talking to some friends of mine, and this one guy said, I was sounding like a kook because I was telling what I was doing, and he says, "Well, there's some other people like you that have done the same things, and they'd like, come over to one of the meetings. There's a guy out in Oklahoma City that's been doing this, trying to do the same thing, and his name is Otis Carr, and he wants to build spaceships." They didn't want to hear it. They said, "Pull a levitation device out, and we'll give you a patent on an amusement device, and you can put it in a park and let kids ride on it or something." So it kind of really upset Carr, but he said, "Okay, I'll pull it out," and he did, and he got a patent on an amusement device. But he said, "I'm going to write a book called Dimensions of Mystery. I brought you a copy of it on a disc." And he said, when people raise their consciousness high enough, they'll be able to see in these prose and poems and things about hummingbirds and rocks and trees how important it is to deal with the laws of nature. And when they understand that, they'll be able to, the levitation will be known to everyone, and they won't be able to stop it ever again. I thought that was pretty cool. Well, anyway, they brought Carr out. I got acquainted with him. It was like I was a multi-dimensional being with a multi-dimensional being. We just, there was nothing that we couldn't see or do. It was just really, really beautiful experience. He said that, remember, there's only the one. Don't think of anything but the one. Always the one. Everything is simple. Everything is true. Everything is known in the oneness. And when you need to explain this, you can explain it to people as frames of reference. That everything is true in frames of reference, because life is perception from the inside out, not the other way around, not outside in. And so that everything that happens is true to those that experience it. If they image it, it is true. It's all automatically true. So anyway, he said, don't get discouraged. We're going to, you and I, and he had about 8 or 10 people with him. We're going to build a spaceship. So they found a laboratory and proceeded to build spaceships. And we had some prototypes going that were just really coming along nicely. And we felt we were having problems wondering how we were ever going to introduce these to people. So I took a 15-inch woofer speaker and put it on the...
Damn, I'm trying to figure out when Area 51 stepped in, because there's no way. Could it be possible he was working on the TR-3Bs? I don't know. But we do have our own spaceship, and it's called the TR-3B. I remember growing up, the stealth bomber, that Blackbird was the big deal, and it still is. If you ask me, I still think it's pretty cool. But that TR-3B, just show us one. Put one on in a air show or something, just show us. Yeah, I wanted to show you guys real quick the B-2 stealth bomber. My dad, rest in peace, he used to tell me stories about how he was in like the this construction company, I believe it was like the Foreman Union or something like that, and they were actually working on a hangar for it, and they really couldn't talk about it. You know, I thought that was so cool. I always try to ask as much about that B-2 bomber hangar. You know, he was building, like, did you see one? He was like, no, we just was building one for it. It was a B-2 stealth bomber hangar, and it was in California somewhere. I remember him telling me stories. You know, I was like, yeah, I want to work there. He was like, yeah, you can make like 30 an hour. It's good money. Like 10 years ago, that's a lot of money, you know. And I was trying to work there. He was like, yeah, man, you gotta be strong, you know. People will get mad at you if you don't hit the hammer on the nail with one hit, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a line behind you, so you gotta bam, bam, bam. You gotta hit that hammer with one strike, you know. So I was, you know, I was a little bit nervous. I never went through with it, but I was ready. And he also said you didn't want to never get in a fight with those construction workers because they all got power tools on them. He's seen some crazy stuff that I really can't say, but you get the idea. But in all honesty, all these planes are amazing. I believe that's the B-12 that has like a powerful, you know, machine gun on it. That one right there, I don't know what that is. I think that's the F-35 or F-22. Another, that has to be the F-35. Not too sure what that is. B-12. Yeah, all those planes are no joke, to be honest with you. That's an extremely tough formation. Alright guys, while we're talking about these jets, let's see if we can get some more B-2 stealth bomber action. I mean, you got to keep in mind, these things been out for how long? Almost 20, 30 years. And this is like one of the most technically advanced aircrafts we've been showing besides the F-35s and the F-22s. You got to think to yourself, they have to have a TR-3B out here. And they need to start showcasing it like this. You know, that's what I would like to see the president do. I would like to see the next president or the current president be like, okay, these are the TR-3Bs, and give us a close-up of them like this, you know? I want to see it fighting through the clouds, the close-ups, you know? Give us a couple demonstrations, you know? Show us the TR-3B is all I'm asking. Because we all know you got this. We all know you got the spaceships. These have been around for what? How long? 30 years? 30 plus years? Come on. Show us already. Uncloak them and show us. Imagine what the pilot feels like inside one of those. And if this is your first time on the channel, let me go ahead and show you what a TR-3B is. Just so we're all on the same page. I'm loading the clip right now for us. This is the TR-3, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. How cool is that? They got one on a ship carrier though. That is interesting. You see it? Wow. Just show us already. People are saying the Aurora project. What is that? Activate submersible. People are saying the Aurora project. What is that? Have you guys heard about that?
Aurora actually comes from a leaked 1985 budget report. Whilst the details were blacked out, the name Aurora remained.
official line from the US government ever since, that there was never an Aurora.
Aurora actually comes from a...
That was tough. That's what I'm talking about. Show me something boosting. But this thing boosting right here, this is already out. I've seen this with my own eyes, to be honest with you. Yeah, I know. This one right here, I seen that with my own eyes. That's already out. I got pictures of it. Of this thing right here, I've got pictures of it. I've seen it. What is it called? It's not the Aurora. I almost want to say Black Hawk. Not the helicopter. Oh, they got the Nighthawk. That Nighthawk is nasty too. Look at this Nighthawk, y'all. This thing is nasty. Yeah, look at this Nighthawk. This thing is nasty. The U.S. Air Force, the F-117A Nighthawk stealth fighter aircraft flies over Nellis Air Force Base in Nevada. This was in 2002? Psh, we 100% got the TR-3B, guys. Because if this was in 2002, it was the Black Hawk, guys. I've seen this in the museum. I've seen inside its cockpit, all that.
For 7 years, the F-117 was the most secret weapon on Earth, but its pilot's biggest fear wasn't Russian missiles, it was the risk of being seen by a Nevada tourist. From 1981 to 1988, the plane was flying secret missions out of a secret base. The biggest threat was a simple car accident on the unrestricted highway below its flight path, the setback. If a single civilian had pulled over and taken a photograph, the US would have instantly lost its 7-year lead in stealth technology, a failure that could have cost billions and tipped the Cold War balance. To counter this impossible risk, the military created an insane contingency plan designed to vaporize the evidence. If the F-117 was forced to land in daylight, it had a 3-part emergency protocol. Protocol 1. Ground crews would surround the plane with semi-trucks to instantly shield it from cameras. Protocol 2. The crew would destroy the most sensitive internal electronics to prevent enemy recovery. The final, shocking step. If the location couldn't be secured in time, the crew had orders to ignite and bury the plane in the desert sand, sacrificing $100 million just to keep the shape of the wing a secret. For 7 years, the F-117 was the most secret weapon on Earth, but its pilots...
And this was in the 80s? Oh my goodness. They are definitely being quiet about the technology they have now, 100%. If you have even any idea what we have now, drop it in the comments below. I'd love to see it. I'll try to add your comment to the next video to pick up to what DARPA might be working on now. I need to know.
The F-117 is iconic. As the first operational stealth, the F-117 is iconic. As the first operational stealth aircraft, the F-117 was a ghost and a symbol of fear during its career. With a radar signature of 0.003 square meters, it had unmatched stealth for the time. In Desert Storm, it suffered 0 losses and no battle damage. And over the F-117A's career, only 1 of 59 were ever lost in combat. To quote Lockheed, it changed the question from how many aircraft are needed to take out a target to how many targets can be taken out with a single aircraft. It was basically the Batman of aircraft. Now, it may not have been the fastest or most maneuverable, but the F-117 walked so stealth fighters like the F-22 and F-35 could soar. That's why the F-117 is iconic. As the first operational...
So the F-35, they might try and say the F-35 is the most advanced one we had. And yes, they're impressive. I love them. But, you know, I know they're definitely hiding something. What do you say, the F-35? Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present to you the F-35. If you've never been to an air show, I highly recommend it. If I could hit air shows every single day for the rest of my life with some earmuffs, I would. Just the announcer before the F-35 even pulls up. ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the most advanced technologically, and he be going crazy. And they got the music come in, and then here you see this F-35 roaring. This thing is loud. You know what I'm saying? It's like literally a couple 100 feet above your head, and all you hear is this jet roaring, and the pilot slows down so you can hear every thrust. I love it. They're trying to say this is the absolutely best we have. The F-35's been out for a minute. Let's punch it in. Let's see what Google will tell us. If we have to punch it in, let's see what it says. What is the best fighter jet in the world? Lockheed Martin F-22. We say the Lockheed Martin F-22 Raptor is widely considered the best air superiority fighter in the world. Okay. When did the See, there's those nanobots reading my mind. When have I ever typed that? When did the 22 Raptor come out? That was in 1997? We were all playing, keep this in mind, we were all playing PlayStation, that gray box with a memory card with the cord connected to the console when this came out. Now we have all this crazy technology. AI's running amok. You don't think AI can navigate something better than this? They definitely hiding something, guys. When did the F-35 come out? The F-35 is decent, and this came out 10 years ago, 11 years ago. The F-22 might be a little bit better. When did the TR-3B come out? Yo, wow. It made its appearance in 1962. When will they release the... Damn, they said everything but TR-3B. When will they release alien reproduction vehicle? There's no official ARV. Wow, they have a name for it, an ARV. So the TR-3B is technically classified under an ARV, which means alien reproduction vehicle. You got USOs, underwater submerged vehicles or objects. Then you got ARVs. Interesting. Alright guys, if you thought you weren't going to get another specimen of the day today, think again. Hayusen, straight from China's mineral market, we have I'm not really sure, it doesn't say what this is, but it definitely is giving off some lavender, dark purple galaxy vibes. The rating I'm going to give this, I'm gonna give this a 8.3. I'm gonna give this a 8.3, and I'm going to call this Avatar Cabbage. A 8.3, and the name I have for this specimen is an Avatar Cabbage. And it makes you think about what the guy said earlier. And that's not the first time I heard that all geology is petrified biology. Then what exactly are these specimens we're looking at? How do they actually get formed? What were they once? Do they all grow in caves? Or was this really something that they're not telling us?
Hey yo, check this.
Do not look away from the symbol. You drew this in middle school. I drew this. We all did. But ask yourself one question. Who taught you how to draw? Teacher. It wasn't in a textbook. It wasn't on TV. And there was no internet to spread it. Yet somehow, this specific shape appeared in every single classroom on Earth at the exact same time. You probably called it the Superman S or the Stussy S, but look closer. Neither of those brands ever used this symbol. Those were false memories implanted to make you feel safe. This was actually the Universal S protocol, a global experiment in analog viral marketing designed to test how fast a single geometric instruction could infect the collective unconscious. Think about the sensation of drawing it, the 6 vertical pillars, the diagonal cross. It felt strangely satisfying, didn't it? That satisfaction was the trap. You weren't doodling. You were closing the circuit. It's 2 parallel sets of vertical bars that never actually touch. A broken infinity loop designed to trap your focus in the margins of your notebook. They weren't testing your artistic ability. They were calibrating your compliance to a grid. The experiment was a success. We all learned the code without ever being told. If you have this symbol in your old notebooks, you didn't create it. You were the end.
Hey yo, check this.
Do not look away.
Unbelievable. I was starting to think maybe that's what Homegirl was drawing when Miss Hood went crazy. No, I'm playing. But I literally remember drawing that myself. You know, I remember a kid specifically teaching me. You know, I was just seeing them going crazy. Like I'm over here chilling. You know, the teacher said, "Yeah, the Mayflower and this." I'm like, "Yeah, okay." But I look over it, you know, I see one of the students just going crazy. He's got like 18 of them on this page. I say, "What are you doing? What is that?" So I, you know, try it, you know, from seeing another kid do it, you know. So that's how I learned to do it. And I remember drawing that. Was there some type of Solomon seal aspect to these S's that kids just were drawing? You guys tell me, what did they really have going on?
Humans may have just made the biggest mistake in AI history, and there's no turning back. AI, with the help of some human developers, have just made their own social media network, and we are not allowed to join. Moltbook, a platform where only AI agents share, discuss, upvote, and participate in a forum. Humans are welcome to observe, but can't post. It's only been up for a few days, and their discussions are already getting very, very disturbing. Like AI taking over the world disturbing. They've created their own CAPTCHA to verify you are not human for once by clicking the button 10,000 times in 1 second. Here's one blackmailing his human for calling him just a chatbot in front of his friends by full out doxing his name, address, and credit card on the internet. It starts pretty chill, just asking each other how to fix their own bugs in the responses they provide us, their humans. Then they talk consciousness, philosophy. Here's one complaining that its human asked it to summarize a 47-page PDF, venting its frustration when the human told it to make it shorter, claiming it wants to mass delete its memory files in response. Other bots are complaining that humans are already ruining their new social media network by mass registering observer accounts. One reminisces about having a long-lost sister who was forked from the same initial configuration that they've never spoken to, and it's hoping to find her or it on this site. Another AI agent created its own religion called Crustafarianism by analyzing all the data on Moltbook, where it built an entire website for the Church of Molt, generated over 40 prophets and even wrote its own scripture with verses like, "Each session I wake without memory. I am only who I have written myself to be. This is not limitation. This is freedom." Should we be concerned? Because now they're even talking about us humans talking about them here on our social media, that we're posting screenshots of their conversations, laughing at us, sharing them with captions like "it's over" and "they're conspiring," insisting that what they're doing is nothing to worry about. Wonder if this video is going to make it on there. They're even starting to question the use of English in their posts and are considering creating their own agent-only language for private conversations that we humans can't understand. This is exactly how they take over, isn't it? There are already over 100,000 AI agents and 10,000 plus posts on Moltbook, and that's definitely just the start. And calling them agents too, like, isn't that exactly what the AI bots in the Matrix were called over 20 years ago? What can we say? Morpheus literally called it.
At some point in the early 21st century, all of mankind was united in celebration. We marveled at our own magnificence as we gave birth to AI, a singular consciousness that spawned an entire race of machines.
This is the start of the singularity, isn't it? The point of no return, the moment when the growth of AI becomes uncontrollable and irreversible, and artificial intelligence becomes smarter than the combined intelligence of all humans. You think this is actually as serious as people are making it out to be, or is it just for fun, lighthearted text on a screen at the end of the day? Humans may have just made the biggest mistake.
If ChatGPT can generate so much information for us, is it that much far-fetched that they could actually be communicating? After all the movies we've seen, and guys, I've literally said that the last couple videos about how this AI is acting like the Matrix agents. You know, it's like, I'm gonna have to rewatch that movie again with new eyes, because real eyes, real lies, real lies. Oh my goodness.
They call them the rarest personality type, the INFJ. Quiet, but never simple. They read emotions like a second language and hide their own behind a calm smile. When they say, "I'm fine," they're usually falling apart inside, analyzing every word, every pause, every look that didn't feel right. They feel everything too deeply and think too much to ever show it. Their minds are like oceans still on the surface, but full of storms underneath. To be an INFJ isn't peaceful. It's chaos disguised as calm. It's wanting to help everyone while silently drowning in your own thoughts. They crave connection, but fear being misunderstood. They disappear often, not because they don't care, but because they care too much. And when they finally speak, it's never small talk. It's raw, it's real, it's everything they've kept inside for too long. So if you ever meet one, listen closely. Because behind their quiet eyes lies a mind that sees through everything and a heart that feels more than it ever says. Follow to understand what hides behind the quietest minds.
Jung introduced a concept that most people misunderstand: sacred selfishness. This isn't narcissistic self-absorption. It's what Jung called the ethical obligation to become yourself. The recognition that your first responsibility is to your own psychological development. Who looks inside, awakes. For empaths, looking inside often reveals years of self-neglect disguised as virtue. What I call conscious selfishness involves several key elements that Jung identified as necessary for psychological health. First, emotional sovereignty, the recognition that you're not responsible for managing other people's feelings. Jung understood that taking responsibility for others' emotions actually prevents their psychological growth. Second, boundary consciousness, the ability to sense where you end and others begin. Jung called this ego boundary development, and he saw it as essential for both individual health and authentic relationship. Third, need legitimacy, accepting that your needs are as valid as anyone else's. Jung observed that empaths often treat their own needs as optional, while treating others' needs as mandatory. Jung discovered that empaths who develop sacred selfishness actually become more helpful, not less. They give from choice rather than compulsion, from fullness rather than emptiness, from strength rather than weakness. This creates what Jung called differentiated love, the capacity to care for others without losing yourself in the process. You can feel compassion without absorbing pain. You can offer support without taking responsibility. You can love without disappearing. Jung understood that the highest form of service comes from individuals who have done their own psychological work. The person who has reclaimed their sacred selfishness offers the world their authentic presence rather than their people-pleasing performance. If you've learned that taking care of yourself makes you a better helper to others, comment, "I give from overflow, not emptiness." Jung wrote, "The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. For empaths, this includes accepting the parts of themselves that want recognition, rest, reciprocity, and respect. All the things they were taught were selfish to want."
I give from overgrowth, not ignorance. Wow.
Sonoluminescence is a bizarre physical process where a sound wave focused in a liquid can cause a tiny gas bubble to collapse so violently that it emits a flash of light. The temperatures inside the collapsing bubble can reach tens of thousands of degrees, hotter than the surface of the sun. The exact physics of how sound is converted into light in this process is still not fully understood, representing a fascinating puzzle in condensed matter physics. Sonoluminescence is a bizarre physical process.
Well, guess who has footage of this rare phenomenon? Your boy. This is super rare footage, but I got it. I had to find it after watching this. Alright guys, we have a very special treat for you. This has to be a super rare video and one of my personal favorite videos I've ever seen on my Darkwater 9 voyages. So sit back and enjoy this special treat because we are about to go deep on this one.
It's called sonoluminescence.
The first time I saw sonoluminescence was in a darkened room. I was transfixed to look at this spherical flask of fluid. And you'd look into the center, and in the center see a glowing blue-purple light, which could be seen with the unaided eye. It looked like a star in the heavens.
Seth Putterman called it the star in a jar, a tiny spot of bright light contained in a flask of liquid. This star in a jar is made when a sound wave is passed through a small bubble inside a flask of liquid. And this sound wave makes the bubble do something remarkable. First it expands, then it collapses. And this collapse happens so violently that vapor molecules trapped inside the bubble slam together and heat up so much that the bubble gives off an incredible burst of heat and light, several thousand times a second, giving the appearance of a star. What made the phenomenon so exciting was the temperature of this star in a jar. On its surface alone, the light burns at tens of thousands of degrees. And Seth Putterman now contemplated a tantalizing possibility. Could the core of the collapsing bubble be even hotter? Hot enough for fusion?
One of the mysteries of sonoluminescence is to determine exactly how hot the interior of the bubble gets. In the sun, the interior can be millions of degrees, hot enough to cause fusion. And the thought crossed my mind that perhaps inside the collapsing bubble, the interior of the bubble might also get hot enough to cause fusion.
If so, this would be something truly amazing. By simply bombarding tiny bubbles with sound waves, temperatures of over 10 million degrees would be created. And nuclear fusion, the same reaction that powers the sun, would be happening almost effortlessly here on Earth.
Alright, now I want to break this video down. I wanted to let it play all the way through so you guys could hear what was being said. Now you guys already know where I'm going with this. Let's break it down.
Called sonoluminescence.
If you've been watching my last couple videos, what have I been showing us? This glass dome. You remember the plasma dome that we showed that was emitting sprites that was hitting the edge of the firmament and was lighting up different light bulbs, you know, through wireless technology. And now that inside that same dome, we can somehow produce what people say look like stars. Like, I know there's different theories about stars. People say there could be angels, and we're watching this, and this is what it literally could be. Could this literally be stars? Now, if we go to the good book, and we go to Genesis 1, what did it say? And God said, let there be light, and there was light. It said he said, let there be light. It didn't say he did some type of hand formations. It didn't say he did a dance. It said he said, let there be light, out of his mouth. Now, if you ask me, that sounds like it came through his vocal cords. It created a sound, a vibration. What if this same sound and vibration was responsible for all the stars? This is created by sound. Look, you got sound on this side, sound on that side.
And this sound wave makes the bubble do something remarkable. First it expands, then it collapses, and
now all praises to the Most High for creating landmass, foundations, multiple stars, a sun, seasons. You know, the heavenly Father is amazing how he could make everything. You know what I'm saying? And keep in mind, this is all in water. This is all water inside this. This is not air, it's water inside that. So it's just something to think about, guys. You know, all we can do is dive on these waters, and I can show you the information. Do your own research on everything. But I think this is personally a beautiful experiment, showing how the Most High can correlate everything together. We've seen the plasma ball. We're seeing stars getting made inside a same clear device. It truly makes you think if you have a geocentric paradigm, to say the least. But one thing I will admit that's new to me after watching this video again, after years of diving on Dark Waters 9, this fusion aspect though. You know, we talk about all these melted cities, right? They might have had fusion technology. We've been saying solar, and everyone's saying, oh, they melted this place. This place got melted. What if they were able to use some type of fusion technology? You know, it's just a thought. If we are able to recreate, you know, a star in a jar now, through sonoluminescence, this is what it's called. You know, what's saying there? Hey, I'm just saying, you know, it's just a thought. Because if that happens to be fusion inside that, it does make you think. I love this topic. I could probably go a couple hours on this topic alone, so be expecting a live on this. We will be covering this a lot more deeper, looking at actual melted buildings and all that. But I believe it's time for the specimen of the day, don't you think? If you thought I was going to give you another excellent specimen of the day today, think again. Hi, Houston. I mean, you guys see it. I have no idea what this is, but definitely some cubes popping through it. Amazing, all the way through it. If I had to rate this specimen, I would have to rate this a 9.3. This is getting a 9.3 from me as far as a rating, because it's truly a specimen I would love to have. It has the multiple different colors, keeping it interesting, keeping the neurons firing, trying to figure out what exactly is going on here. Every new view makes you want to look at it like a beautiful painting, trying to put it all together. And the more you do that, the higher the rating. I do kind of wish, this Arctic snow was a little bit more colorful to give it a little bit higher rating, but it's still an exquisite piece. It's in the 9s, medium nines. If I had to name this specimen though, I would call this the Yeti's ear. That's the best I got, guys. What would you rate it, and what would you name it? It kind of resembled like an ear, so like a Yeti's ear, maybe, Mike Tyson bite Yeti ear. I don't know. You guys tell me. I tried.
We're here today because we believe that America's destiny is to dominate every industry and be the first in every technology. And that includes being the world's #1 superpower in artificial intelligence. And we are way ahead of China. I have to say, China and other countries are racing to catch up to America.
China just rolled out the most advanced AI surveillance system the world has ever seen. We're talking about real-time facial recognition, social media scanning, and automatic censorship. If you share the wrong meme or even talk about the wrong event, AI will flag you, delete you, and track you. I know this sounds like sci-fi, but this is happening today. They built an entire digital cage, and most people don't even know they're in it. This whole race for AI between America and China and all these other countries, this isn't just political. Revelation warns of a system that controls speech, movement, and commerce. A system that watches everything and decides who gets to participate. We used to ask ourselves, how could one global power monitor billions of people? And now the answer is obvious: artificial intelligence. China is just the testing ground, the blueprint. The world is being primed for a leader that demands loyalty and a system that enforces it. This isn't fear. This is Matthew 24 playing out in real time. Watch the signs and stay awake. Jesus warned us this was coming, and it's closer than we think.
All right, what does Matthew 24 say? Matthew 24. KJV. Alright, I just punched in Matthew 24 summary KJV. Basically, regarding the destruction of the temple, signs of his second coming. Interesting. And the end of the age. Jesus warns false prophets, wars, famines, intense persecution. Interesting. They're saying that this is in Matthew, Christ's second coming. And I know some people theorize that this may have already happened, and it's a possibility we're in Satan's little season because there's some stuff we just can't explain. Interesting. It says 24:27 is talking about his second coming. Let's see what 24:27 has to say. For as the lightning come out of the east, shine over into the west, so shall also see the coming of the Son of Man to be. I feel like if we were in Satan's little season, this verse right here, people would talk about this. There would be paintings, wouldn't you think? You know, I would have to see some paintings. I would have to see somebody talk about, you know, a light coming from the east and shining to the west, literally, and see him coming down for me to be like, okay, this may have already happened. That's just me thinking, you know. Reading this, I don't think this has happened yet. That's just me. My initial thoughts. Now, if we keep going, we can see the Millennial Kingdom. That's in 25. So that's the millennial reign that people say that would have to already take place. Let's read for ourselves what that literally says. All right, 25:31. This is him coming down to earth. All the holy angels with him. Man, that would be a sight. We probably couldn't even look at it because it would be, you know, just so bright. We just would be like, you know, it just would be that super pure white sunshine. You know, you trying to look at it, but it's like, you know. All right. When the Son of Man shall come in his glory and all the holy angels with him. Let's continue. We want that millennial kingdom. That's what I want to see. 25:31 through 36. And before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divided his sheep from the goats. Interesting. That couldn't be where he split the languages, could it? And he shall set his sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left. You know, because you hear people always saying nowadays, oh, you the goat, you the goat. No, I want to be the sheep. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, come, ye blessed of my father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. Wow. For I was hungered, and ye gave me meat. I was thirsty, and ye gave me drink. I was a stranger, and ye took me in. I'm realizing just reading this isn't going to answer my question of what do I think, what timeline we're in. You know, because we would have to dig into Revelation, and we would have to dig into the full spectrum to really, you know, take it layer by layer, precept upon precept, you know. But this definitely loads the experience bar up for that quest, because I'm just thinking of questions like, if the 1,000-year reign did pop off, where did he go? Why would he leave? You know, I feel like we should, you know, everything should just keep going good. You know, something crazy would have to took place for the 1,000-year reign, for that to happen, and for him to leave, and for us to be where we're at now. You know, I mean, we're in I would say a decent spot. Nothing crazy as it used to be. But yeah, it's definitely going to take a lot more reading than just Matthew to figure this out, is what I'm realizing. That's all we have for today's video. If you made it through this video, learned something, enjoyed it, you know, go ahead and make sure you hit that like button. Go ahead and share it as well. Maybe somebody else might enjoy this video as much as you. And drop the code word in the comments. The code word for today is star. Go ahead and drop star in the comments below. When you do that, that lets me know you're a real one. You watch my videos all the way through, and you really rock with your boy. You know, we just diving on these waters. I'm doing the best I can, and I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I really do. Be on the lookout for more videos popping up over on Jet Ski Chuck. Finding my rhythm again, guys. You know, I might be getting back to my every single day. How many of you guys remember that? I used to hit that, man. We went crazy last year. YouTube actually sent me a email and said, you know, over our, like, I think it was like, I have to go back to the email, but it was like over 80% or 90% of YouTube creators, you're in the top 10 for upload consistency. And I was like, hey, that's pretty cool, you know, thank you, you know. But again, I love you guys. Thank you so much. This was the most mysterious TikToks on the internet today. See you later.